it tapi right now obviously it might have been just another day on that might have to one time specific train to that Scotland where like public or like but like a bunch of like Scotland might have been direct Scotland and giving them train at the same time before like the Royal Navy might have been to prepare that for like the Royal Navy might have been like but definitely what might have happened upon demonstration might have been Indian matches that thing we may be taking advantage of that was willing to have the team the thing to solely to that language. I don't know. So the clear but framework element might have been the element might have been from that absolutely typically might have in front of language I don't know. Might have put on that absolute take in front of that language might have own language that we need to lack the language I don't know that lack the element that activities and that wanting of the special training of that element might be along the lines that German might have the language and to prepare language for like permanent. Might be along the lines that the government might have so the and trap and the that intent to that way how through that the training might have been through that special training that will might have been how language might have then that some of the steps might have been that might have not reflected on themselves, might have been technically that's what was kind of happened at the beginning of the frame, but so like it might have been it might have been the command access might have been gone to that the secret orders of like which might have been left to the so with like the down of that the diamond on sana like and definitely the strength of that organization by explanation might have taken a few downfall. It might have been what might have happened to the for it. So that make up to to that make up for like the for like the implementation that make up for like the surrounding of like like the different it might be according to that this is that not plan that like this might have given support to William Manton school that only referred to that someone from that from that going on as one of from the group going on to for potential to by to make William Manton's left more equivalent to the recruiting the into left side of the management. So definitely William Manton's plan might have been to definitely choose which language like well and that way the like how like like language yeah like William Manton might have thoroughly studied like language gap might have by now it's a few friends. So definitely William might have felt that it means to be one to that to have the accurate language and to have that point number and to follow from that and get absolutely of the text in itself. Uh, might be along the lines that might have thought to this for like elements might have been the case, but trend. So luckily, quite a few of this for like apart from like language like might have been naturally have a trend so that might be that might be that's the most that's the biggest priority for like as well as like to the managers to like to uh to that type of as like uh, to replace another like a sorry not like with that intent that that intent that which might be only knowledge and the might be only knowledge but that they might be feeling as if that is need to approach at present it might be too early to that approach with that such plan to that curriculum might be along the lines that to the manage might go which as well as might be dealing with minimum framework so that to make up for that huge loss of that that we might have I mean that which might have those we manage to that they find someone else with that at least one person with black which that protected from black is about and all might get on the line like it's might have both element and the other point of element like that element might be seeing the part member like part of the technical and more like not even like someone to focus on that then that's what it potential skill of how to even get correctly like to that's the element might be along the lines that along the lines that human might be it actually maybe good is the name of the brain but so that can be human culture that one that we might be having the only language as well as that hello from left to end up here left the government of the government. If you left that to the university, so that way like a different that way like the might have started given that to training uh to them and like that way that might have learned I mean but might have been working in stuff in university and right now that I'm feeling more to a bit. So the limit is then basically all that and seeing that they match in that the or like so that I'm going to be again that land they did the two now that I'm going again that land to bring like it them black and stuff power so that and the that stuff power that technology and that land of that how like the self language now that like as the unfortunate train that was going to be language of language not that improvement and the development was like the government government we find it all like so the city women friends for one country the final period like after like it seems like the now is that and that like now from the season those with like the movement right at that point I'm moving even team who would have nowhere near from the select nowhere near to land team in like the role like environment I'm supporting getting selected to select the role like how many like the that I'm just running land not getting selected like now that I'm going to pick maybe the supporting even again as well as that's the other member like land team selected from like land fellow getting rejected by previous that program that is now that and that early looking language and being at that point of time I'm from that that we demands like again showing good like showing up in of that actual language and then so to bring like by putting into that word language like a different that telling about like solution that way like also connected with like language to we didn't take land to the highest examination same like personality and this whole thing and like we depend like that's why like the mid showing up and this thing this like offering land with the like power from like in exchange for like joining like anything like also like by joining like the international like it would be like actually so that would be and then in terms of so like that this like that we depend that let's see is different land so that joining that side like that yet like I'm going to perform like and to like take the form of like one of that the basic like definitely know it's around that for that so like like international like easy so for that and eventually for maximum right for the government they may be able to planning on eventually when the time is right definitely because that they will only definitely from so far that we can about like that giving us some study that it may be very strongly that both the CPS on to that and get to that zone that implemented. So certainly when the time is right like for like to that main like and that way that at that point the three one that way to that to that get one for the therefore feel that say people in that alien to then that they get also like to make like the tension effectively the next at that point is when that they might be having the command to fade away and that the same way that the question of that the right of that to have that to be like the multilateral and like the people use the alignment of like maybe around the language plan with the of that looks and relevant order people might be the day like consider that a with the that you might be right now that like you getting that way the land has to that was that people and that something that they feel like the right way might be along the lines that users might be bonding for that and might be thinking as like that necessary factor that might be required for like the change to happen in like that might be along the lines like tools might be doing it to the significant they will bring like for this to like definitely get the like the that is outside like the online system between like and that and like like it's not that. do the interrupting that and like do the saving up like the tournament battle order for like the next round. Where like I'm going to do the smoke like the saving up the order and that able to that land with the team to that take on as the team in like the very next in like the or like the so like the scenario that didn't make such a change it's like the scenario that I'm going to make and at the end of the day we just might be feeling having just having like feeling that I'm really confident in as that of lab that lab as being able to lab or for the language you might be feeling little confident in such anything and might be hoping that like start figuring out that thing in like uh, might be like you may be thinking of the might be feeling okay, so that's it. You might be feeling anything right now that so not and he might see the sounds. I know it as well as my job was like easier so that can start taking this way uh, in like the previous or like that match the not the record. So that we that start getting a straight through course that and destroying like the plans of that zone in like the previous match. We don't actually spots that were to go to the get up. Might have been that that's the what might have happened. But so like the player different like Zora 2015 is fine in like the situation in like the battle against that in like the semi-final battle against like team like in that match like when the like Zora only puts in his mind to that really ensure that that suffocates his way in that match as well. Definitely meant for energy. So it can be so different like Zora, even before like the match to get up to and right now from like Zora to them as that and we want that to that take care of that. It's a discussion of that the effect of the team is like the dynamic side of the program. So that as a person like myself, we want to that that is that language why as that what as that might be wanting might be to working to rather than or romantic language and product language people while Java as well as that we know that as the maybe person would be taking care of that responding to the of that because the thing might be enough that as the might be hoping and might be wanting so you know it's so definitely like Jordan standing against that definitely that the plan of that only it's like scenario that I'm so like definitely Jordan telling us that and we know to that to that like the task of like destroying like like under the mind and that's that actually so they are doing so at that point, Quran was like telling us that, and we know about that, that like basically he's not going to that, he's absolutely not going to that, protect the person and destroy like development. So it's along the lines of on Dora telling you like after so like this is whether so like at that point after getting frustrated that way like after Quran that way putting after and means to that to do it about like them having like no other choice but to like only focus on the project instead of the topic of like language between is like the scenario that I'm worried about. So that yet I'm going to become like manage to get settled on the thing like language straight away focusing on us and it's straight away coming out like us that doing that will end off or in between us that and so that is like also as the essential that is like strong it's like within our that way like I'm straight away like a man to get like land straight away like like so I'm sure like as and like fade away trying to like take on that's like another therapy. But like that's I'm delivering with like the focus like and like destroy like it's like that's struggling with way to like one is to like don't like the or well most of like with like the that and the problem. So like that way like that way helps us struggling a lot in like the when you manage to like now that importantly the next thing maybe like the plan of like Loramator that like from Dora perspective like Loramator means things that it means if that Dora so then the Dora plan might be to like 20% to that not about anything at all in like the name and some side and that way like both as well as that means to focus on like trying to exploit like selecting the objecting and get that and get the configuration of that language wanting to like between as the like actually and so how many both that the game or like language to that what like the magic in visual that to game on as well and that way as that actually not being able to like destroy like select the objecting with that language maybe on a certain page. Could be around the lines, might be around the lines like Dora might be hoping a certain amount of then as well like at that point like Dora might be hoping that it limits the space that like Dora not in any support like if we have like the task of like basically bypassing or like taking on like the remaining two members of Black Land team before like it was a good like getting to like be able to for like of the team as well as like members would be also having like task of like guarding like the still of that uh Zora's team as well. My tail of the line like Zora and these things of the minimum can so like when Zora might be totally hoping for like to be like Zora's like uh strategy of like not putting in any effort like as well as like from the job to get to see this struggle in like specific finals and basically eventually get forward and figure and get into like a sideline and sit and basically for like while like the team that way would be really focused on like the time also for like so I feel like still be take advantage of that distraction of like of the team and basically want that by the time the time was out the sideline like from Zora so that of course that like for the team to like for the team uh, and basically that way for like Zora he can once again get back on the spotlight and attention might be along the line and that way for Zora to like get the spray once again might be along the line like Zora might be having like its own plan politic plans that might be like against the film frame. So that is that we still you know at the my like it might have been select language itself that might have been my propulsion behind that ending up becoming like the one form the phrase of demon temperature too. But they what might have happened might have been that people that might have trick and what that together might have but typically fed language ego might have in might have been one might have the limits might have don't that I'm good again but like language and might have told land that is the that land William Benson like favorite like from like the world and all and basically speak on to that to that they replace that element and become like the next contact of like the children of my dear uncle and land was already on land of the level of when was already on like sport captain level might be along the line like Philippines might have no input of that up with take action and live to that landing and might have taken well then we will and at that one Philippines might have told that to that not even for the to that take part in like the Royal Knights exam because like none of like the squad captain except for like the none of like the other squad captain taking part in like the Royal Knights exam that land someone of like the level of friend of like land stood whose honors squad captain level might be along the line like Philippines might have told land to even for the like taking part in like Royal Knights exam might be along the line Philippines might have told land and the way that he develops made of gold and glider and all that land it looks like very special and very and the land is very special that that element is going to give that special training for the on land to the this can even for the like land for front and power. I think around the lines that element made of light to like made of being and that way will depend if the name in the percent of like training on like might have use that dominant spell like power spell bond that might have bond that to be able to like use that dominant spell power might have discipline and simply at that point it might have been secret between like language and the bandit that like language definitely not then not going to like take part in exploration might have been like but like it might have been enough made a change in that language culture and to that language deciding effectively enough against the last stone exploration might have been one that happened to might have been totally due to left and right language it was like language back then while deciding to like join like the online system, which might have been the case in the initially so like at that point like that might have not even might have been not even remotely expecting for that someone source land totally. we do like extremely we like similar to that of even and to that joint election or like some maybe along the lines of like the mindset of putting the black lands made up with something so like it might have been at that learn to can that the ball like the royal knights for them figuring that land might have found out about like to not taking part in like the royal knights but yeah that the land might have like maybe frustrated and basically land might have felt that they leave from their selection that from the press their selection that the Royal United plans that like giant as well the selection like the Royal United that can basically put single in place between the line land might have to change the decision with like the very after and might have been one might have happened so like about that like like absolutely no other program and for the it like the in like the so like the and definitely about different elements made a thought about like the ways to stand and like a very joining like the uh joining like the Royal Knight defense might especially due to that really being extremely weak and like the weakest something like this what happening and that's why in start very much sharp point and it might be along the lines of that might also uh, might have told and that might have been the case that they were trying to that kind of thing is friendship that then sits like and don't have the sport never in some book to like show to even watch like the even watch like the organization like and definitely like that change in direction of that and about that change in direction of that then with to like join like the organization it might have been like about this also fact like and this thing like Demand to the person might be probably unaware of the demand and that might have been like to demand writing to that which might be most likely to document that were so and turn to return like language into like a permanent member of the community. That's probably more that that's the probably which family man might have been planning that. That might have been done at that point. At that point of next that meaning what might have been next last in change in the budget of that land to join the project. That might have been what might have happened. So also, remember that like elements might have underestimated to this might have been like against the like it was like 1 billion might have thought might have been like epsilon so that like land is taken take part like the wrong nature and land the total information about like land for being on an estimating if you're remaining hidden until like the limit land to be able to like hide that sort of information from two different things like when cities really getting land to that eventually pretty much then the land to like eventually getting land to like eventually join us as a permanent member of the like implementation might be along the line of that all confidence and assumption an estimate of like to the writing out of that all confidence of that element might have been what might have backwards definitely my open medium with the weather. Where for that and then sitting on that for that especially like the same environment like so much still have to really get tired of that listening to that as stuff that plan and basically I don't and like displaying like the back and forth or like as that but yeah with friends or getting tired of that and basically to be like semi like making that as betrayal once again like as that is like in like the same line of people like in economics that are legal trail of things. So there are the new training right now for like as the government regular like as the basically at that point I'm different from like abstract to like doing so and basically like aesthetic that all enough like example for like spell of that and different as that like it all and basically fighting back all the spells and basically fighting back in after that transform form like an even that and the position that is being sharp making great and beside like and the swing bobble into them with fighting all those spells of land and saying in that exactly towards towards the exact location was like the middle of that time things to see. And that is how much of like that and that so it like those things like it was different that ending up destroying that so such a remote manner like remote strategy like a different as the using land own spell like because by sending that spell like our different like as the destroying the still of like a thing there's that little scenario that I'm struggling again to face. Here it was like my friend in my phone. So the next person got done it and that a magic might what happened. Like we might like the signal mind of that of like lang might in that my dream and being that got in for like belong that so might have been wrong when it happened but remember like but they would that it might have been scenario where like the time it uh, that it might have been that scenario where like then get up half my the same of family and like the location of door of so many next about the at that point that the one of the what getting might have she might have sort of there might have solely focused on like getting up and cancer and also like defeating like the genetic dynamic of with it what might have been a clash between like that's what happened and that so that kingdom will like and like that clash mechanism that Zora sort of might have gone from between that clash and everything like the discussion about by that clash Zora sort of might have got from and might have been a thing and that Zora sort of might have been suspect for like that reason yes at that point that that what happened might have taken off that the threat from of it. So I might have tried out at that point to like that and that's what happened to like help like one of other and the situation might have been such that basically that that kingdom leader might have been escaping from that point, trying to like escape from that might make what that might have been so like that I think what happened might have like like the trying please of that Zora to like just like father and might have solely focused on that shit number and just number that is that and leader might have been one might have been that way might have been over like maybe Zora might have lost the platform due to that by that might be like in language might have been more like an accident maybe out like product it's like towards like man and that might have been wrong. It's definitely not very interesting right now. Also, I'm still in my premises for like the part of India have been also taking very percent that were content might have been that was increment of like so moving the platform due to like like might what happened might have been what might have happened like it might have happened in like the aspect of like students and maybe that time like students might have been a bit more different so yes it is might have been like a great person but that might have been that as with hands of the students so that it might have been so that usually that way like Zora and Blue might have been seeing each other as like on the proper you know so definitely like to just fully to try to that and I think that nice of the person which might have been house that he just might have become really night might have been told that from the channel of like participating in like the period in like 10,000 like the plan might have been against the new camp. So then at that point one student might have been prepared to take into decision to that and participate in like the night channel itself like that point itself like a different that so might that might have been a clash between that so and Julia Plant and so since then might have not been seen Julius and look like for them but like has like yeah rival to boom that law has to that to this point certainly might be like this the case of him. So pro Zora found about like today Zora to like Magic Knight by literally some kind of figure and the ongoing activity experience might be that without that thing and you're not fully exposed at the job having any sort of like anything to do with that with like being a man right this might have been that job of like still I can go into certain point of view also something as well as that man might work at that's what might have only so the ignorant black or might have maybe lost that sort of like that might work at might have after that then might have without the day to day might have ended up getting taken off while like battling some sort of like an even strong villain will like near future of the blind might have been one of them. It's so that right now that we so how many times train hard that exactly that Thomas found about in that bank pointing out that the code behind that the loss of left or might have been like against the limit prevention. It might have involved with the sort intent to like it from so that left so I might have wanted to get revenge on like the purpose of the school purpose behind like those law like law and there being the case that we need to so like what might have putting all that effort and trying by itself and work hard by itself and eventually might have language learn the correct self so and that we can be that using that might have worked hard and feeling English that so I might have got revenge goes to right now and might have like when I don't go to purpose of the members. Uh, well, and might have taken them out, might have been what might have happened is that they were doing. So it's from the name of the and right now. Let me go on like go on to point on to that, care at all about like the Royal Knights that match sentimental match or like about giving back up to that anything at all. Only to do that go on. Like remembering the like journey so far with like that story. Sadness like and just like to like a following a quickly with land reminding of like the past in like Dora like on the that Dora after like getting that extremely enraged to that's the point of that Dora going on the point on Dora caring about the school like for and Darlene destroyed that language, especially might be blind to that change in mindset of like Dora right now having uh, and Dora is caring at all about like the running from this point on like economic parameters of the point. So that's why like I was on the point on like an intense planning between like Dora all of them like like Dora for me acting on Catman like an intense planning that happening between like Dora and land of like scenario that I'm doing and the clear between like Dora probably like struggling again with like permanent powerful man like looking out that I'm looking and yeah like I'm looking like and at that point I'm looking like as the and then fun to be one thing of like trying to like destroy like the love less and being like now that so like that's between like Zora and like Africa like Zora sort of still even quite even though that motivate towards like land like I'm like Zora still struggling to Hong and like now that it's still have a different like language will be about 50 or at very last can have a different language on so we that way even igniting even more within like language and basically uh, within like Goran and that affecting in like Goran of likely learning at that very severe look at like learning and unlocking some sort of like exceptionally or for exceptionally powerful like benefit like personality that and using that like a like Quora, being like the one like or entity like slang in that in the battle like in the scenario that I'm going to bring in that exactly what actually I'm while Quora so Quora to be also indicating language and like at that very moment itself like the view of like the team like has that and Mimosa the photo of the feeling like destroying like language thing that needs to these two scenarios happening at the same time, at the same time. Reflecting the scenario that I'm about that way like just seen like seeing that I to bring forward like land to like the scenario that I'm okay. Like that way from the remember bringing the very cartooning play into that in the public or in debating language is like the scenario that I'm doing. And at that point I'm going like so we feel that that's question within as a like we have accomplished like we have came to like accomplish by participating in lecture organization, maybe the like that so at that point from my feeling of the feeling of the and that like I'm putting that so after like the victory of like the semi final that is different for the player feeling I think that sort of straight away to take like the Royal Knights of the medic like and lead it like to up that victory after like getting it right to like and that is like the that I'm going to that way, like I'm bringing like the final example reference for to be the like the CEO of like Mimosa and has that alone that I'm looking to be facing up against like the priority of that is like the scenario that I'm going to bring in working on the for like maybe like two days was like trying to like do this maybe giving us that like the as was adoption if like they want to they want to get from that organization to organize, since it's like one member release might be like a two for the three that for like the finance. What I'm going to find so yeah, to giving that option to that has that and they want to if they want to like fit from that organization or not or if they want to like pay fill this that two or the three finance of like the organization. To the end of the next, you just giving that option to like a standard of that, but yeah, looking at that point or like has both has that will you know the only deciding to straight away taking the decision to that pay back the final safely to get it there on that two and three final that and it's better on next and that is that I'm looking at the thing. And that way the fundamental frame that I'm looking for like that leads to the method for like you know to that win like the final goal at the final and definitely still until different students definitely applauding and that praising that the performance of that Nazca and we and definitely straight away selecting Nazca and Mimosa as black being part of black for Royal Knights that is the that I'm doing.